Hello, Steve Mills here, and welcome back to the Results Podcast. It's great to be back with you and again sharing some tried, tested and proven ways to grow your business. Today I wanted to talk to you about really what you should do before you send people to your website. Many people spend sometimes a fortune on driving traffic to your website using things like Google pay-per-click advertising or YouTube advertising, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth. Most of these sites these days are able to take money from us by enabling us to do pay-per-click advertising or pay-per-view, or perhaps that's some banner advertising, retargeting, or geofencing. But either way, there's a cost often for getting people to your website. And even if there isn't a cost, there's still a cost in terms of time and effort to do that. And also a cost in terms of if you do it badly, it's going to cost you money anyway, because you're going to lose out on sales and leads and meetings and so on and so forth. So I wanted to do this. Now, I'm doing this today. I'm trying this for the first time where I'm doing a podcast and at the same time I'm recording a video. So I'm going to upload the video to YouTube and then distribute it on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and so on and so forth. So it's a good idea, I think, based on the fact that I can do it once and yet I can benefit from it many times in many different ways. You'll also find it on my website and on my blog and so on and so forth. So without further ado, I'm going to start the process of marketing the podcast, and indeed the idea of what you need to do before you send people to your website right now. And it's great to be here. So over to the video side of things. Hello, Charles here, and I've got a question for you, and it's a really important question. And that question is, what do you want to do before you send people to your website? What do you need your website to do with that traffic? And the truth of the matter is, if you're like me anyway and you want to grow your business, you got to make sure that your website converts. These people that I see all the time, they say things like, well, our website's just a brochure site, Steve. We don't expect to win business from our website. Well, why the hell not? Why wouldn't you want to win business from your website? You spent at least hundreds and hopefully thousands of pounds developing it, and you're probably spending a fortune in time, maybe on social media and so on, but maybe in money to drive traffic using Google pay-per-click, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is you're doing to drive traffic to this website, to a website that doesn't convert. And that makes no sense whatsoever. So my message for you today is to think about what do you need to do to your website so that when people hit it, they go from somewhere, from LinkedIn or wherever, to your website, that your website converts as much as possible. Now, there are, in truth, a load of things that you're going to do, that you could do. But I'm going to give you, if I may, my top four tips for improving what I call your CRO, conversion rate optimization. And this is a key part of marketing, I think, any business in 2020 and going forward. We spend a lot of time and effort getting people to your website. You take something like, Google pay-per-click advertising, and you can be paying £5-10 a click sometimes, but let's just assume you're paying £2 a click. You get 1,000 people to go to your website. That's just cost you $2,000. The key question here is how many of those 1,000 people are going to make an inquiry. Now, whatever that number is, we need to be working on improving it. And how do we do that? That's the thing that I'm going to not solve today, because, it takes more than a few minutes watching a video, but I'm going to give you what I think are my top 4 tips for it. Number 1, and it is probably number 1 in every sense of the word, and I'm going to say add video to the page. Video, in video, I hope you're getting my enthusiasm here. I'm enthusiastic over this. And I'm passionate, and I got some level of expertise. I've been doing this for 25 years now. And, it's difficult to write that. That's how can you portray that level of enthusiasm in the written word? I think when you're really expert at copywriting, you can do that to some extent, but in truth, you can never really convey that passion. There's an old saying in communication you probably heard many times, that 8% are the words. This is how we communicate and we influence others. Okay, so 8% of it is the words, 37% of it is our body language, the way I gesture, facial expression, and so on and so forth, and the tonality in my voice. And then the last bit, the remaining percentage, is all about the body language. And so in video, I've got a chance to, gesture and say things and mean it and so on and so forth, So the headline, the video would be the number 1 thing I would say. The next one I've slightly given away just a second ago, and that is the headline. There's an old saying in advertising that the headline is the advert for the advert. And so, I see so many pages that just absolutely mystify me, where they've got a page called Our Services. I mean, give me a break. Can't you think of anything more interesting to say than Our Services? Even if you said accountancy services, landscape gardening services, marketing services, at least you're telling people what it's about. Our Services just doesn't hit it, or About Us. There's another really interesting title. So, let's go and have a look at that and see if you can improve that. The third one, and again, this is something that's missing from, I'd estimate 95% of the websites that I look at, or the web pages more precisely, have this missing, and that is a CTA. More often called a call to action. Yeah, tell people what to do. Give them the opportunity. Give them the opportunity to phone you, to email you, to fill in a form, to make an inquiry, to perhaps download something. To do something as a result. Tell people what to do as a result of visiting a particular page, and more people will do it than if you don't tell them what to do. Okay, so that would be number 3. So number 4 would be around pictures on the site. There's an old saying that, a picture paints 1,000 words. Now, you're probably gathering with my tonality here that I'm not quite as excited about this as I was about the videos. Yeah, but pictures are good, and my advice around pictures is perhaps have a theme to it, which is in keeping with your brand. So, for example, if part of my brand is about, the environment, then you can probably guess the type of pictures that I want to have on my website. If it's about, I really want to portray a very strong professional image, then, a different type of picture. If I'm all about technology, and being, towards the future and moving forward and all that sort of stuff, again, it's a different lot of pictures. And particularly if what I want is to be known as the traditional business. We've been around for 150 years, and the pictures that we use need to portray that and not something else. So go and have a look at that. That would be my 1 tip for pictures. My number 2 tip, I suppose, would be make sure you get proper ones. By that, what I mean is not ones done on your mobile. With all respect to mobiles, I love the technology. I love the idea that, I can produce this amazing picture on my iPhone, but do you know what you really need for your website? Certainly on the main pages on your website, It's okay to, do that on your blog post, but on the main pages on your website, you want professional pictures, and also pictures of you. Pictures of you, the business owner, and or your team. My saying you can see behind me there. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And part of this 4 steps is getting people to know, like, and trust you. Video is a great way of getting people to know, like, and trust you. And so is pictures. So that's it. I hope you valued that. I hope you, take it on board and look at ways in which you can improve your return on investment from your paid advertising, if you're doing that. And if you're not, then you should be. And if you're just, using generic social media, then again, hopefully it'll help you improve the results that you're getting. So if you want to know more from me, you've got a couple of options. One, you could go to my website, which is stevemills.co, that's .co, and book yourself onto my next webinar, my next web-based training. Go and have a look at my website. You'll see loads of details about it. Go and book yourself onto that. If you'd rather just take the bull by the horns and book some time with me, then you can do that on the website too. So go and have a look at that and get yourself booked in. And one thing I want to assure you, because the perception is, oh yeah, he's just going to sell me something. What's he going to sell me if he gets me in a one-to-one meeting? And the truth of the matter is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 30 to 40 minutes demonstrating my expertise, in other words, helping you, and then 5 minutes at the end, I'm going to say, look, if you want any more help, these are a couple of things that we can do for you, and you make a decision then. There's no hard sell, absolutely not. So that's it. So go to my website, www.stevemills, that's MILLS.co. Thanks very much for listening. Hi, Steve Mills here, and thanks ever so much for watching this very short video. I'm here today to promote a webinar that I'm running. It's on Thursday, it's at 12:30, and it's all about what to do in order to really get as much attention to get your business out there in 2020. So if you want to attend the webinar, go to www.stevemills.co and you'll find all the details there. Having said that, I'd also like to add some value by talking to you a little bit about what we're going to be covering. So if you think about how marketing's changed over the years, it's changed considerably. I've been doing this now, this being helping small businesses to be more successful for over, in fact, actually it's just coming up to 1/4 century. Nearly 25 years of helping businesses, and I'm sure you'll agree that the world of marketing has changed massively since then, and so has the world of sales and the technology that's available, the software that we use, the internet, the introduction of mobile phones, and now probably one of the biggest changes that's happened, I think, for many years is the introduction, actually it's not the introduction, because it's been around for many, many years, but the development and the use of video. And video, I believe, is a truly powerful form of marketing. And because there are many reasons for it, but one of them is that, when you're watching my video, you can get my enthusiasm, or, you start to hopefully buy into me. If you look over my shoulder there, you'll see a sign that says, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And I really do believe that. And what this video, the production of video, enables me to do is just to help people along that process. And it's very difficult to get to know me from the written word. excuse me, what I'm writing on my website. But when you hear me and you see me, you see the eye contact and the body language and the tone of voice and so on, you get an impression. I hope that impression's good. Right now, it's not very good because I keep needing to clear my throat. So that's not necessarily a good thing, but hopefully that won't continue. But you understand my meaning. So, there's a great opportunity, and I'm going to be running this webinar. We're going to talk about the technology that you need, the type of videos that you should be producing, because not all videos work. And we're going to be talking about how to market that video, because that's a real key part of it. There's very little point in setting up a video that nobody watches. So how do we do that? So once again, if you want to find out more about it, just simply go to www.stevemills.co. You'll see a button there. Click on it, sign up. It's called the Results Webinar. Sign up for Thursday, 12:30, and I look forward to speaking to you again at that time. Thanks very much for listening. So thank you again for listening. That's great that you've done so. I appreciate your time, and if you want to know more from me, as I just said, feel free to get in touch with me. The options really are attending the webinar. Obviously, sign up to the podcast would be a step forward. Attend the webinar, or I've actually got some online training on my site now, so you could set yourself up as a guest on that. It's totally free. Or if you really want to go for it, then why not book a meeting with me? But either way, go to stevemills.co. Thanks very much for listening.